Darragh, you're very welcome on to the show.
Thanks, Keith.
No problem. Good to see you. So tell us, you're from Shankill, am I right in saying that?
Yeah, Shankill.
Very, very good indeed. So you actually were involved in music with a rock band. So is that where you're getting the rock music from, is it?
Yeah. Well, I've been in bands since I was about 8, I think. And they've all been rock bands. The first one was called Fire Souls. And we were great. We did a lot of covers and kids' parties, that sort of thing. Because we were kids. Then the band I presume you're talking about is Pedro for President, which was sort of the next level up. So I was 14 when I started that band. And we were a good rock band. It was just me and a female singer called Katie Keane.
Very good. So you've actually been at music quite a long time. What age are you now, actually?
17.
17. Jeez, you're quite young still.
Yeah.
So you're doing big things in the music industry at the moment, anyway.
I guess so. Yeah.
Yeah. So tell us. So you actually did this album. Is it 2010? You did this, The Finish Line.
Yeah.
Great. So
late 2010.
Good stuff indeed. So tell us, how did you actually put it together and stuff? Like, obviously you got different artists to work with on the album and things.
Not
like
many
that.
actually.
Not many, no.
I played most of the instruments myself. A girl called Ali did a couple of backing vocals because I can't sing like a female, and a girl called Anna played cello.
Okay.
On a couple of tracks, and I think apart from that, it's all me though.
And you got to play guitar and drums and all that, then?
Guitar, drums, bass, keyboards.
Okay.
All the lot.
So you kind of mix them all in a soundtrack kind of thing.
Yeah.
And Pro Tools or whatever you do.
Pro
now.
Tools, yeah.
Yeah. And then you just needed to get people to do the artwork and make the CDs then as well, did you?
Yeah. The artwork was done by a guy called Alan Nolan, who's he's a friend of my dad's. They go way back, so he did a really good job. He's a graphic designer, and he's got a couple of books out at the moment with O'Brien Press. And so we got him to do the artwork, and then there's a company up in Belfast whose name escapes me at the moment, but they did the manufacturing.
Okay, so it all worked out well.
So
anyway.
It all worked out well, yeah.
Yeah, and obviously then, so that didn't. Obviously, if you have good contacts, it doesn't cost you too much to do stuff like that, then, does it?
Well, it's cost a little bit, but like the Belfast company.
Yeah.
Didn't know them very well, so we had to pay them.
God,
but Alan was pretty cheap, and it was cool, yeah.
Good stuff.
It all worked out.
Tell us, your dad actually manages you, so tell us a little bit about him, actually.
Well, he's a drama teacher by day, and I guess a music manager by night now at the moment. He was in a band in the 80s called Mangled Ferret, who were the self-styled worst band in Dublin. They used to get a lot of write-ups in Hot Press just because they were so terrible, you know, that people just kind of latched onto them. So he's he knew a few people in the business through that, and when I was getting started, he could use those contacts to kind of get a foot in the door for me. So it all worked out pretty well.
That's all pretty helpful indeed. And he also, so as you were saying, he teaches drama and stuff, and we mentioned about a couple of girls that we had in here before a few times. A band called Musa. Yeah. Lisa Nolan and Lorna Kennedy. He was actually.
He taught both of them.
He taught both of them. So they're a couple of years older than you. So that.
Yeah.
So you probably know them from being very small, do you?
Yeah, I've known them since I was, I don't know, probably about 3 or 4. They actually, my dad, before he started managing me, he used to run this like extracurricular thing called Pop Club, which was bands you could form a band for the week, and you'd figure out a dance routine, you'd pick a song, and at the end there was a showcase concert. So Lisa and Lorna both did that, as well as the drama, and I would have known them from then because I used to go to these Pop Club gigs a lot.
Oh, very good. So do you be in touch with them much now still, or anything?
Yeah, they still do a couple of shows with us.
Oh, very good, yeah.
We did a production of Hamlet a couple of months ago, and Lisa was assistant director, second director, and Lorna still keeps in touch, does a couple of shows here and there, and
great.
Still visits the drama studio and all that. Yeah.
Very good. So there is chances to play with them and stuff as well.
Yeah.
Very good. And do you know, like, do you know if they're trying to write music themselves now, or are they just doing a lot of weddings and stuff?
I think it's mainly weddings and stuff. Mainly the music project.
Yeah. Okay, very good. Right, so, and tell us, you did a load of rock bands and stuff, so tell us why you actually went to do the solo career then, instead of being with the bands.
Well, the band before Pedro for President, we broke up. So I had a couple of the songs on the album were leftovers from Pedro for President, and I just thought I'll keep going solo and see where that takes me. And it's worked out so far.
Did you write most of the songs when you were with the band? Did you?
Yeah, we did a couple of covers, but I was the songwriter, I guess. Yeah.
So you kind of have your own permission with your own songs to go out and do it on your own and stuff.
Yeah. There was only like 3 that made it on the album, but yeah, there was a couple of leftovers. Yeah.
Yeah. And did the band split up because you all wanted different things, or is there?
Well, there was only 2 of us. But
there was only 2. Okay.
Just kind of decided we couldn't take it any further. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So obviously, the solo career is the big thing that you're looking into and stuff.
Yeah.
So you didn't actually study music or do it in school, did you? Or
no.
So you just do music as a kind of a hobby on the side then?
It started off as a hobby, yeah. Now it's kind of a full-time
it's a serious
job,
thing, yeah. So, like, did you teach yourself how to play the guitar and stuff, or?
Actually, Lorna was my first guitar teacher. Lorna Kennedy. We were just talking about. She, I went to her for lessons to do. Like, she'd teach me a couple of chords and a couple of songs, and then eventually, she kind of moved on to do her own thing. So I just picked it up from there. So she taught me the basics. It wasn't like I don't know how to read music or write music or anything. Like
you played by ear, do you?
I played by ear, yeah. But she was my first guitar teacher, yeah. And then the rest is all sort of picked up from here.
Okay, well that's good. She's been very helpful to you in that way.
Yeah,
so.
It's brilliant.
Brilliant. So you mentioned about the first album, The Finish Line. You were saying it's a line from the last song.
Yeah, the song Turned Away. There's a lyric that says the words finish line. So.
Any particular reason why you picked that?
It looked good.
It looked good, yeah.
That's it, yeah.
Cool. So you kind of put this first album out at the end of 2010, and it was just kind of a demo thing to send around to people, was it? You didn't put any singles and stuff out.
Yeah, it's not. I mean, it doesn't sound like a demo. I hope so. We mastered it in it.
Yeah, mastered it. It sounds like a proper recording.
Well, that was the aim anyway. But we didn't put out any singles or anything. It was just more to hand out gigs and
different things.
Different things. Cool. But the next album, I think we're gonna go for the radio stations and
things like that. Yeah.
Put a couple of singles out and try promoting it a bit better. Yeah.
So obviously the plan is to do digital releases on iTunes.
Yeah,
and things like that.
We were very slow with this album actually. The Finish Line.
Yeah.
We put it out last November as like a 1-year anniversary, just because we were so bad at figuring it out.
Okay.
But the next one will be quicker to put it up on iTunes and get it ready.
I suppose you sometimes like to celebrate things when they're a year or 2 years old or whatever.
Yeah, it worked out nice in that respect. But the next one we'll go for the digital download. Yeah, more I think.
I think we were probably trying to sell an extra couple of copies that you had spare, was it?
Yeah,
that was the whole idea behind that, I'd say. So tell us, are you playing lots of gigs and stuff at the moment, or what types of gigs have you played in the past?
There's a lot of open mic nights and acoustic sessions. I co-run one with my dad, the manager, in Cornwall Court every Monday. Magic Mondays we call it. It's in the Magic Carpet pub. So I do that one every week, and then it kind of depends. Like gigs come out of the blue. Some weeks you'll get 4 gigs, some weeks you'll only have 1. Yeah. But yeah, so a lot of acoustic nights, mainly.
Cool. And if people if there's any artists listening or friends of any artists that want to play that Monday night gig, I'm sure there's a way of getting in touch.
Yeah, we're on Facebook, so facebook.com/Magic Monday. So if you can like our page and get in contact with either me or my dad, it's Paul Cullen.
Yeah.
Yes, and we'd be happy to have you.
Cool.
It was nice having new guests.
And there's probably 3 or 4 guests a week then on playing that, is there?
Yeah, and then we do an open mic section at the end where anyone can come up and do a couple of songs.
Brilliant. Well, it's all very good anyway. And you were mentioning about the pub as well. It was actually he's actually put it to them, and it was a decision they granted then just to try and get a bit of business in that. So it's a really positive thing that you're.
Yeah, there was no one going in on Mondays in that pub, and they were thinking of closing it on Mondays just because there was no point keeping it open. So we just came to them with the idea if we can try a acoustic night, see how that works out, and they're getting business now. There's some nights it's quite slow. Some nights we only get about 10 people or whatever, but we had one just before Christmas where 200 people turned up. It was absolutely packed. It was mental.
So that's fantastic night. That is. Yeah. So it's amazing, like especially in events like Christmas, you can get a big crowd, or if you do something at Easter, or during the holiday season, you might put on a special show or do something a bit different to the normal thing. But I suppose singer-songwriter notes, they vary with numbers. You're never too sure who's going to be there, do you?
Yeah. It kind of all depends on the acts and what sort of audience they bring.
Yeah.
It's
it's all about who knows the acts and are they willing to come out, even if it's a cold, freezing, wet, windy night. Are they willing to come out and support good music? So that's obviously something. Can you tell us, have you played with many artists and stuff that you've supported? Any notable people?
Actually, the band Pedro for President, we supported Aslan as a last minute thing. That was a big one in Greystones Theatre.
Oh, very good.
It was I think their support band pulled out, and we'd done an open mic night the night before, so Greystones just called us. Was like, yeah, we have a slot with you to support Aslan if you want. I was like, yeah, cool.
And what's the Greystones Theatre like? Is it quite big or is it small?
It's kind of small. I think they actually just closed a couple of months ago, which is
did they?
Pretty sad. But it was a lovely theatre though. And the people who ran it, Ramona and Alan, they're lovely, really nice. But yeah, it was a nice space. It was cool. It was small enough.
Good, yeah.
But it was lovely.
Very interesting.
Nice theatre.
So obviously you get to meet lots of different people on the singer-songwriter nights, which is probably something you're probably really enjoying, that, do you?
Yeah. There's a lot of interesting people.
Yeah.
Hanging around at these sort of things.
Cool. And do you ever think of maybe collaborating with any singers out there or anything?
Yeah, a little bit. I have a couple of people who I play with if I ever get electric gigs. So I have a friend called Colin Scallon who's he produced the new album actually, and he's played bass for me a couple of times, and met him through the singer-songwriter circuit. And then there's a singer called Rebecca Geary who's... Do you know Mark Geary?
I might know him, yeah.
He's a singer-songwriter. He's brilliant. But his niece has done a couple of gigs with me, so we've written a couple of songs together. And yeah, cool. So there's a couple of collaborations.
So there's a couple of things you'll have on the album credits at the end then, yeah?
Yeah.
A couple of people that you want to mention that helped and supported you. So tell us... how do you actually go about writing songs? Do you like to write lyrics or music first, or what way does it actually come to you?
It's nearly always music first. It's normally I'll just be playing around on the guitar and something will sort of spark, and that'll become the genesis of a song. Sometimes you sort of wake up with a melody in your head, and that's basically it. They're the two ways I tend to write. Yeah. Either just to sort of mess about in the guitar, see what happens, or you kind of come in with a pre-planned idea and sort of work from there. And then the lyrics tend to come last.
Yeah. Can the lyrics be hard to find sometimes, can they?
Yeah, they're tough. I'm not a natural lyricist. It's the guitar playing's more sort of where my head's at, so kind of finding what words should fit is kind of tough. But
so you have a really good ear for music, as you were saying, because you're playing by ear, so you'd be messing around for hours trying to figure out different chords and tunes, and something might pop up in your head, or just you hear something that you're playing, and you go, oh, I like that. I'll take a note of that what I'm doing. So that's obviously interesting indeed. So tell us, you got a music award off Hot Press. Can you tell us about that? Yeah,
this was 2010. Jackie Hayden named me Male Solo Artist of the Year in the Hot Press yearbook. Which was big. It was cool.
Yeah,
it was because Jackie Hayden's, he's a legend in the music business, you know.
That's a pretty big thing, all right.
Yeah, because I put the album in. He does an article in Hot Press, the First Cuts article, where he reviews like independent artists and demos and things. So I put the album in, and he picked it. It was his pick of the fortnight. The issue they ran it, which was cool. And then a couple of months later, it was Male Solo Artist of the Year.
That's pretty big, because I'm sure there's loads of male artists he could have picked, isn't there?
Yeah. So it surprises you.
Yeah, I know. So it is really good to get an award like that, and it just shows you that if you actually are pretty good at music, you might win an award for something, which is kind of amazing, isn't it? We're going to move on to. Is there any hobbies that you like to do apart from music?
It's not many. I was trying to think beforehand. I do a podcast every week. That's a hobby, I guess. You can find it on iTunes, The Weekly Schmooze. So if you type that on iTunes, and it's me and my two mates, Ben and Owen, just sort of talk nonsense for an hour and put it online.
Okay.
That's
So it's a bit like of an online radio kind of thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
I get you now. So it's a bit of crack and a bit of fun.
Yeah.
So obviously it's just music. Music is kind of your
Pretty much, yeah.
pretty much your
A lot of listening to music and then playing music and writing songs and
different things
kind
like
of takes
that.
up a lot of time, yeah.
Takes up a lot of time. So what music do you actually like to listen to then?
The big thing for me, the first band I got into were the Beatles, which is, I know it's an obvious choice, but they're good, so you can't argue with that. Dave Grohl's a big influence because almost everything he does I love. Like the Foo Fighters are probably my favourite band. Nirvana were great. Queens of the Stone Age, the album he did with them Crooked Vultures. The list goes on. At the moment I've been listening to Ben Folds 5 a lot because they're reuniting this year. So I've been kind of getting back into them. They're really cool. Have you ever heard of them?
No, I haven't actually.
Okay, it's they're kind of a cult American band. They were called Ben Folds 5, but they were a trio. And there was a piano player, bass player, drummer, so no guitar. But they did these sort of punk rock piano songs. It was mad. The bass player put a lot of distortion effects on his bass to make it sound like a mad guitar, and it's one of those things that shouldn't have worked, but it just really gelled.
Okay.
And they all sang harmonies, so it was a really unique sound. But they're getting back together for a new album, so that should be cool. I've been listening to Manic Street Preachers a lot as well. I just got into them, and I think they're brilliant.
Yeah, if you can't tolerate this, your children will be next. I remember that song when I was younger. All right. Yeah, so it's kind of interesting when you don't hear of bands for a while or they've been out of the scene for a couple of years and they suddenly say they're coming back with a tour or they want to write new songs or an album, and you sort of go, oh geez, I remember that, I must listen to that again, and you kind of get back into it then, don't you, after forgetting a band or an artist for so long. It amazes you what way things turn out in life, isn't it?
Yeah, and hopefully they tour Ben Folds 5 because they broke up in 1999 or 2000, I think, so I was only 6. My dad was a big fan, so he'd seen them before, but I've only seen YouTube clips and that sort of thing, so it'll be good to see them live.
Yeah.
So hopefully they'll come down to Ireland sometime this year.
Yeah.
I'd say they will.
Yeah, that's kind of a funny thing because, like, even you're 17 and I'm 22 now. There's obviously both of us would have acts that we didn't get to see when they were playing when we were really small.
Yeah.
So there's obviously, like, both of us would have acts that we'd really like, that we'd really love to see, that we didn't get to see because.
What acts were you thinking of for yourself?
I can't think of it. I can't think off the top of my mind, but I know there's I know there's artists I would love to see, but they're not around now that used to be around and things like that.
Yeah.
So that was from your the first album, which was The Finish Line.
Yeah.
And that was the 8-track. You see, you put 10 tracks together with that album. Are you going to do the same for the new album?
No, there's 14 on the new one.
Oh, there's going to be 14, is there?
Yeah, it's pretty mad.
So you couldn't chop down a load of songs. There's a couple of good songs you really have for the next one that you want to put them
I just thought 14 might be a good number. I like albums that have 14 songs for some reason.
Okay.
Like the old Beatles albums used to have 14 songs, and it's just, I don't know.
And they used to be those albums used to be on 2 sides, didn't they?
So they'd have 7 tracks on one, 7 tracks on the other.
Yeah, I get you. So that's probably where you're getting that from. Yeah. It's kind of different now with the whole digital download era that we're in, and with CDs, you don't have sides and stuff. So I think a lot of young people don't really understand that. I know we're kind of understanding that because we follow all that from music from ages back, if you know what I mean. So that's interesting as well. I was actually thinking I actually missed, because I'm quite into my pop music, I missed out on bands like seeing the Cores and the Cranberries and all them, to see them in concert, so I missed a lot of those, but on the Cardigans in Texas, so they're kind of bands I was thinking of there while you were playing that I would love to see, so I just thought I'd try.
I think Texas are coming back.
I think they're coming back this year. I heard that. They're putting out a new album, but I just haven't heard any details on when they're going to put it out.
I'd say they'll announce them soon though.
Yeah, because I even listened to Charlene Spiteri solo stuff as well. I think she's really good vocalist.
Yeah, she's cool. I like it.
Yeah, and they're from Glasgow.
Oh, they did a song with Paul Buchanan once from the Blue Nile, and they're a band I'd love to see.
Yeah,
that's
really good actually. Yeah,
that was a good song. It was Sleep, I think it was.
Oh yes, that song Sleep.
The male vocalist was in a band called the Blue Nile.
Was it Paul Butchin?
Buchanan.
Paul Buchanan. Yeah, I remember that now. Yeah, because I have that album. The last Texas album was Red Book, which is back in 2005 now. So
I think that was the first single.
Yeah, so that was really good. So tell us, your dad, Darragh Cullen, you were mentioning to me there, we were off air, there's a couple of other people he's taught music to. We thought we'd give them.
Yeah, well, he hasn't taught music to them because he can't play anything. He's shockingly bad at music, but he's a big fan of music and he's a big supporter of music. He just can't play anything himself, and he'll admit that, so he won't mind me saying.
So
but he taught Kathy Davey before. Taught Scott Marr and Steve Marr from the Shoes. Well, he taught Scott anyway. I think Steve only did like 2 or 3 lessons with him, and was just too shy to continue with the acting. But yeah. So he's taught them. He's taught Colin Devlin from the Devlins, Lisa and Lorna from Musa. Lisa's partner Rob is in a band called the Classic Beatles, Beatles tribute band. And he taught him. Actually, Scott's in that band as well from the Shoes. Who else did he taught? I think he taught David Kitt, but I'm not 100% sure.
Okay, right. Yeah,
so there's a few. Yeah,
he's pretty known. Yeah, they're all pretty known people. All right. If you're into the music industry, if you know about the music industry, you might know some of these people. So that's quite interesting. Indeed. So what's your future plan then with the music? You're gonna obviously gig around the place. Is there any upcoming gigs for people to check out or anything?
Well, there's the Magic Mondays next week and every week. I don't think there's any. Oh, I'm doing a web show. I have a friend called Brian O'Reilly, and he's doing a 12-hour sort of gigathon in his friend's house on the 25th of February. So we'll be playing at that. That should be good.
Was that an online gig or something?
Yeah, it's he's a big YouTuber success.
Okay.
I don't know what the word is. I think it's a YouTuber, but
okay.
Yeah, he's doing a 12-hour gig to raise money for a charity called the Ross Foundation, Ross Nugent Foundation.
Very
so
good.
It's a charity for cancer.
Great.
So I'll be doing that on the 25th of February. I think that's all the booked in ones. I tend to get gigs very last minute, so.
Okay, yeah, I get you.
Yeah.
Rightio. So obviously then, do you have a website and stuff for people to check out as well?
Yes, darraghcullen.com. It's www.facebook.com/Darragh Cullen. The Facebook one's probably the best for the gigs and stuff.
Because you'll update those last minute gigs, or
yeah. Then Twitter Cullen Music, or at Cullen Music. I think that's how it works.
Yeah,
I'm very bad with technology. Although Twitter, I'm pretty bad with Twitter at putting gigs up and stuff.
Because you only have 140 characters to tell it.
Yeah, but I tend to just write stupid stuff like, "Oh, this band are cool," and that sort of thing.
Okay, yeah.
But I try when I can to promote on Twitter. Yeah. So follow me anyway.
Yeah, very good.
Bit of a laugh.
And so thanks very much for coming on the show this week.
Oh yeah, no problem. Thanks for having me.
I hope you enjoyed it anyway, and tell everyone tell Lisa and Lauren I said hello, and whoever else that I know, tell them hello anyway. Yeah. And I wish you the very best of luck with the music, and I'm sure we're going to be hearing lots more about you over the coming year. You're going to do a couple of singles as well, so yeah. So we'll keep you all posted on that anyway.